morning and welcome to the African Heritage Diaspora Television, still the #1 voice for Africans in Atlanta. It is not by accident that Clark Atlanta University remains the center of excellence among the historical black colleges here in the educational curriculum in America. Of course, God always puts somebody in charge to maintain excellence. And this is why this historical colleges is making great news all over the globe. With me today is the #1 citizen of Clark Atlanta University, the current president, Dr. Carlton Brown, to discuss the excellence in Clark Atlanta University. Dr. Carlton Brown, you are welcome to the African Heritage Diaspora Television.
Well, thank you, Chief Tunde. It is great to be here with you.
Well, you are such an awesome president and you are so busy. But what amazes me is that you have time to do what is necessary at the right time. And you do it with absolute perfection. Well, you describe in the web, on your welcome address, Clark Atlanta is the center of intellectual excellence in the international city. How will you substantiate this particular great statement?
From the pure standpoint of history,
yes,
this has been the location of so much intellectual activity that relates not only to the fortunes of African Americans in Atlanta, but the fortunes of people of African descent around the world. W.B. Du Bois conceptualized his notions of Pan-Africanism on these shores right here.
Correct.
As well as the beginnings of the NAACP
yes.
were conceptualized here. He viewed this place as a place that would be the repository and the focal point of all knowledge about the international black community. He pursued that aim from 1910 all the way up until his retirement in 1946.
Right.
Further, if you just look at our contemporary circumstances, we boast an alum who was part of the Coca-Cola family that participated in the dismantling of apartheid in South Africa.
Correct.
From his standpoint as the president of Coca-Cola Africa.
Absolutely correct.
The current vice president, executive vice president of that same company is a former president of Coca-Cola Africa and a graduate of this institution and an African. And so there's this history that says that we not only understand, but we impact the entire world. We do it through the lens of Pan-Africanism.
Correct.
And so all that we do is influenced by that. Even when we choose to be a major research center for cancer, we focus that work on the primary cancers impacting African American men, namely prostate cancer. This is the home of the Whitney M. Young Jr. School of Social Work. This was where Whitney Young was prior to joining and expanding the Urban League. He was followed in that role by E. Franklin Frazier. Horace Mann Bond led the School of Education here. And so we have this enormous legacy.
Okay.
We also draw in a contemporary way those faculty and students who understand the importance of service, of making a difference, and who understand their role as global citizens.
Okay.
So those are the things that I claim.
To make that powerful statement, and you justified it by your explanation. Well, looking at the historical legacy of Clark Atlanta University, from the Atlanta University to Clark College, and now to the journey of the Atlanta University Center.
Yes.
You are the big brother. And what a journey. I like you to actually tell us the historical background. I think you are the third president right now, from the first initiative of the first president,
yes,
and up to your own particular area of making that Clark Atlanta is right at the zenith of his calling. Will you be able to tell us how the journey has been?
Well, the Atlanta University Center,
yes,
as a whole and in its parts, has always grown from great vision.
Yes.
And in many instances and at many points in time, the vision articulated particularly by those who led Atlanta University were always far away and above what others thought about.
Right.
So this conception of a great university on this land really goes all the way back to the point of our origin right after slavery, when even those whites who started the place understood the necessity of building a cadre of intellectual African Americans who could exercise power in this world. So one of those critical moments of vision comes in 1988.
Yes.
When Clark College, a comprehensive selective admission undergraduate institution, and Atlanta University, the only standalone graduate institution in the HBCU community, chose to make a bigger, better institution called Clark Atlanta University, which is now an institution with the highest classification as a Research 1 institution. Carnegie classified by the number of doctoral programs that we offer, the number of doctoral students that we graduate each year, and the range and quality of the research that we engage in. Not to mention the overwhelming power of so many of our undergraduate programs.
That's correct.
So the vision was that we would build such an institution, the only one of its kind really, and only one of 4 Research 1 institutions in the HBCU community, to have that kind of impact that great universities always have beyond their own communities. And so I saw that move then. I was at Hampton at the time as a dean. I thought it was a great move at that time. Little did I know that the day would come when I would have the opportunity to actualize that vision.
That's right. And that vision is actually working now. That's why we say vision is greater than ambition.
Yes.
Dr. Carlton Brown, it's quite interesting to see the huge record of success of Clark Atlanta University. The derivation has shifted from Cambridge University in London, Oxford University. Everybody wants to be here because of the idea of bridging the gap and building the bridge. And the brain gain for the entire African nations and the diaspora. I have seen a lot of great records for Clark Atlanta University. And what is the population of this university as of now?
We have about 4,000 students right now.
Okay.
We are beginning a new growth trajectory.
Right.
So our enrollment is higher than it was last year.
Okay.
And it will continue to rise across every level of the institution, undergraduate, master's, and doctoral.
Okay.
We have aspirations to be as large as 5,000 students in the not-too-distant future.
Okay.
That, of course, extends our reach as we're already the largest of the institutions that hold membership in the UNCF, United Negro College Fund. Okay. We're already the largest of those institutions supported by the Methodist Church. And we're already one of the largest of all HBCUs. And so we intend to consolidate our power, extend our reach, exercise a kind of growth that will be quite spectacular in its outcomes and its impact.
Okay. Yeah, before I go to one of the specific points of day-to-day activities in this college is affiliated with United Methodist.
Yes.
Can you tell us something about that? Browse something about.
Well, Clark College is the source of the Methodist connection.
Correct.
Clark College at one time was Clark University.
Good.
The United Methodist Church began about 11 institutions of higher education specifically for African Americans around the country.
Okay.
Clark University was seen as the flagship of those institutions and had great aspirations for university status. That was submerged to become a part of the Atlanta University Center. The vision for the Atlanta University Center: one excellent institution for men, one excellent institution for women, an open admissions coeducational institution, a selective admissions coeducational institution, a theological seminary, and a graduate school. So Clark College, in coming to this location, became Clark College at that point as the selective institution, comprehensive undergraduate institution with quality programs, and maintained the Methodist affiliation. At the point of consolidation, we chose to make that affiliation broader And so we maintain that connectivity now, and the Methodist Church continues to support the institution fairly well, I might add, as it continues its growth. And so we expect those kinds of things to impact our nature and our character. We expect that the history of AU as an institution that always defied injustice, that always pursued change, that always saw itself as larger than its circumstances, that those two things define our character. And they're really embodied in both of our mottos now. I'll find a way or make one. And at many points in the history of AU, making the right decision became difficult and would cause difficulty. And so the mode was, we will always be correct and forward-looking in our decision-making, and we will always find a way to get past the difficulty of having made the right decision.
That's right.
In an unjust world, right decisions bring pain, but they must be made by those who choose to make an impact. And then from the Clark College side, culture for service. The whole purpose was to develop young men and women of character and of intelligence and of skill and knowledge to go out and serve others, to raise the level of understanding and enterprise and activity and education in others. So you put those two things together. When we fully actualize all of this, this will be one of the most powerful, impactful, and meaningful institutions in America or in the world.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for telling us extensively the mission and vision of Clark Atlanta University. Now I'm taking you up on this. African nation, the 54 nation, is looking outwardly.
Yes.
That there must be a way to bridge the gap and build a bridge. The colonial debacle with the Francophone, the Anglophone, the Lusophone, the Italian, the German, they said all is enough. Semantics, that's where this is the path to reality. This is where the action is now. Now you are prepared to broaden and also incorporate all these nations that are looking for to this institution.
Yes.
What are your future proposal and also your future outline to make sure that the center of excellence that is right now is sustained and is maintained, and people can actually boast of it in years and years to come?
Let me first contextualize the question. Anyone with any observation skills and any understanding of international affairs and economics realizes that the continent of Africa writ large is in fact the future market of the world.
Thank you.
That the growth that is about to occur on the continent of Africa will be strong enough to lift other boats.
Correct.
And so this country, if it is smart, will understand that building a quality set of relationships with African nations is in its best interest. That in fact our own economic decline can be reversed by such relationships in a substantial way. So that's point one. Point two, we go back to our points of origin. I mentioned Du Bois already.
That's right.
So let's talk about Sekou Touré, and let's talk about
Kwame Nkrumah,
and all the luminaries from the
Jomo
40s, 50s, and Kenyatta, Abdel Nasser. The list goes on. Men and women
Emperor Haile Selassie.
Throughout the continent, who understood their connectivity with each other. And with those of us in the diaspora who are of African descent, and that the power of those connections and those understandings are really a power that can impact the world. And that was Du Bois's point in the 5th Pan-African Congress. Okay, that this is the future power of the planet. So